put in peace here. Here's a fact. We are evolved, mutated primates, proven by DNA, that created God with our brains, belief, and the self. Concepts of the supernatural, gods, demons, and all these concepts were created in the brain by the ingestions of entheogens, psychotropic substances, drugs by primitive men over 40,000 years. This is, the proof of this is can be seen in caves, in paintings of caves, which they show the firmament, stars, all kind of things, including the sex organs, which were gods. Here's a 40,000-year-old phallic representation, which I call penis Christ. And of course the Venus of Willendorf, another emphasizing the fertility. And here is the cave of Lascaux with sacred paintings. All these visions produced by the brain due to entheogens were compiled into religion by Egypt about 5,000 years ago. A series of spells and magical things called pyramid text, coffin text, now known as the...
Not the stairways to heaven. The pharaohs needed something else to help guide them safely into the next life. So they adopted religious text, literally magical spells, inscribed in a sacred code.
Pyramid, watch your head.
Here is the evidence of what I say is true. The original. No translation and mistranslation. No, the original. You can see it in stone. And it's written in epigraphy, in pictographs, symbols, called hieroglyphs, means sacred. Watch this, Christian retards, Jewish retards, and Islamic retards.
Yes.
Learn where you stupid myth came from.
Yeah, for big guys like us.
The Egyptian Book of the Dead.
Okay. Yeah.
Or the hieroglyphs.
Yes.
That's where your stupid beliefs come from. You're believing all that stuff, you're retarded. There is no excuse for somebody in this 21st century with preponderance evidence, that's what I'm saying is true, what everything originated from, to view, to believe in imaginary friends and ridiculous things like in the Bible, Quran, or all the religious texts as true today in the 21st century. It's okay if one believe all this, 5,000 years ago, but not today. Today, believing all that would be called a form of retardation and psychosis.
We were 700 yards from Zozer's step pyramid, down beneath the desert sands, slowly making our way to King Titi's burial chamber. And this straight tunnel was the only way in. After the king was buried, 3 huge granite blocks were used to seal the passageway, creating a primitive security system. It was state-of-the-art for the time, but the pharaoh's greatest protection wasn't stone blocks. It was these mystical spells, never meant for our eyes, hidden beneath the desert for millennia.
Sorry, believers in the imaginary friend God, to spoil your deluded fun. Truth hurts, I know. Yeah, watch it and lump it.
Wow. So we're in the center of the pyramid.
Exactly the center of the
Look at this whole wall, and I guess it would have gone around.
The Bible and Quran, all the religious texts are shit compared to this. This is the original.
Oh my goodness, this is incredible. This antechamber, the second of 3, holds more than 400 hieroglyphic spells known as the pyramid texts, the earliest religious transcripts in the world, and the first to be carved into pyramid walls.
Yeah, earliest.
All mystical instructions meant to be read by the pharaoh after his death.
People infected with religious psychosis, here are the facts. These are the earliest religious texts in existence, the earliest. Here is the proof and the original.
Please tell me what all this means in general.
Actually, this is like a magical spells to help with the soul, to help the king in afterlife. Magical spells.
Yeah, so much of a stupid Bible and the rest of a stupid, ridiculous text.
The soul will go away.
Yes.
And will live in between the northern stars. And the soul have to come back again to recognize the body. So, there is many, bad gods will stop the soul to come back again. It's like a fight or a conflict between good gods and the bad gods.
Right.
Something that this man ignores, it doesn't mention, is that the pharaoh was considered God on earth, the reincarnation of the god Osiris.
So this magical spells will help the soul to come back again.
Our minds and feelings were in the heart, here represented, and weighed against a feather, which is the air and spirit world. Here is Isis and the mother of God and the Virgin Mary.
Pharaohs lost their power. They had seen the tombs of earlier dynasties robbed of the royal treasures that were supposed to guarantee access to the afterlife. So they turned to these written spells instead of luxurious treasure as their new tickets to paradise.
They're not in English.
Have a look here. You can see his name. Titi. This is half bread, and the feather is eye. And the name was written in a circle. Why? Because the circle means endless, continuous. So if
the Shen, which means infinity.
You will live forever. Right. You will be resurrected in afterlife.
Like the shape of the sun, the circle.
Dedicated to Titi, the owner of the pyramid here.
This infinity symbol is like the god Atun eating his own sperm, filleting himself. And here is the Shen, the spirit carrying the Shen, leaving the body. And here also you can see that going through the false door. The spirit, soul, is nothing but air in our lungs. Everything, even the tree of life.
Originally, these cryptic symbols, the world's earliest collection of prayers, were painted in vivid colors.
Earliest collection, retards.
Trace amounts of humidity in the desert air ate away at the paint. So if you use your imagination, a very colorful wall, yes, very colorful star across the sky.
Yeah. The stars. Everything was in the heavens. All the gods resided there.
The ideas in the pyramid texts evolved over hundreds of years into a remarkable document, an eerily detailed roadmap to the afterlife, known as a Book of the Dead.
Yeah, detailed.
It was written on papyrus, an early form of paper, and placed in the coffin to help guide the deceased on their last journey.
There you go, retards.
A final step that is still familiar to millions today.
The Book of the Dead text were instrumental in the other religious texts of the empires that follow Egypt, including the Roman Empire. And from those texts originated the Septuagint. Everybody imitated the Hellenism, sacred text from the Pythia and the oracles and the Roman Sibylline text, etc., etc. Everything came from that. The Book of the Dead contains life after death, resurrection, judgment, the 10 Commandments, actually, the 40 days in the desert. Everything that you see in the Bible or any religious text, including the Quran and everything else, came from the Book of the Dead.
You believe in God, believe in the Egyptian gods, they're more real than the stupid Christ and all their nonsense.
I didn't do anything bad to my neighbors. I never polluted the river Nile water. I never looked to my neighbor wife. It's a good instructions, okay? And
morality comes from, retards.
And if he's a good guy, he'll go to paradise. I see. If he's a bad guy,
the judgment of the dead.
So the same idea of sin existed here in the Egyptian times as it does later in Christian and all other.
I believe the religion just one tree, and we have many branches: Islam, Christianity, Jewish. So it was the main tree.
So we're looking at the roots right here.
Here we are in the roots.
There you go, retards.
His body was stolen long ago, but his instructions to heaven remain in perfect condition.
There you go.
These ancient carvings are the oldest known form of religious writing. The Greek myths, the Bible, the Quran, all began here.
Yeah.
You're really looking at the
exactly
of writing here as well.
Yes.
The earliest form of human writing.
Yes.
There you go, Christians.
Understand the real difference between the step pyramid and this man's pyramid, the Teddy pyramid. You really have to look at the wall. I mean, all these magical spells, the priorities have changed at different time entirely. Now, this is not big, bold engineering like the step pyramid. This is a more mythological statement.
Yeah.
I mean, the times have
Don't
changed.
say mythological, religious.
Who was
the stupid Christian believing all that bullshit.
Help himself into the
think it's real. This is what
the magical spell.
That's where everything came from. Well, right here.
We are in the 21st century, not the 4th. Today, neurology and other sciences clearly prove that we are evolved mutated primates that created God and beliefs and all that with our brains. Accepting the beliefs, ancient beliefs, to be reality today in this 21st century is clear proof of mental illness or retardation. So, pace de oro. Christians, you believe in God? Of course, you're a neurologist.